Alright, what's going on, guys? Afflicted Gamer here, back with another Division video, and it is Friday, which means that all of the vendors have reset, and I will be going from place to place, DZ checkpoint to checkpoint, to find out what the best items are for sale this week in the Division. So if the video is helpful in any way, shape, or form, please go ahead and drop it a like. It's much appreciated, and it does help the channel grow. And if you are new to the channel, I hope that you will consider subscribing for more Division content. I do these every single week, so it will save you guys the time from running around. The stream times for me to be live here on YouTube are at the end of the video, and you can also follow me on Twitter at AfflictedGamer. Okay, let's take a look at the blueprints for sale down in the hub. So first up, we've got a classic RPK 74. If you're into those sort of machine guns, I would pick this up. If not, just pass and get yourself a good pecan. Military M9, pass. There is electronics gloves, electronic knee pads, a heavy magazine spring, small laser pointer. This will go on your first wave X45, and a stamina gear mod. I would pick this up if I didn't already have one, and same thing with the electronics gear mod. So nothing too good for weapons, but a couple of gear mods I'd pick those up. Alright, our exotics for the week. First up is the Historian with 151% headshot damage, prepared, dominant, and history repeats. Determined. You know what? This is actually a pretty decent Historian. You could pick it up, leave it as is, or if you're not a fan of determined, you could re-roll it, but it is a very, very good and useful talent. Liberator this week has 23% enemy armor damage with sustained, predatory, and responsive. You know what? Not bad at all, actually. You could even re-roll off sustained if you wanted to, or keep it if you're running a skill build with low firearms, and this sort of thing can keep you alive in gunfights. Those types of talents. Centurion, expert and accurate, not too bad. Cassidy, 330% stagger, commanding, fierce, and boomstick. Pass. Pecan, 13% damage to targets out of cover with prepared, meticulous, and pecan. This is not too bad. If you're looking for one, you could reroll meticulous off if you wanted to for something else like deadly or destructive. Prepared. Either way, this is a decent pecan this week. And let's see what else we have here. UMP 45, not bad. Model 700 tactical, sustained, accurate, nope. RPK, and there's already a blueprint. Alright, I'm going to scroll through the gear quickly. It drops left, right, and center in the division, but if you're missing a piece, I would pick it up just to fill in the slot, or especially if you are trying to find a build. So far, I don't see anything that great. The numbers are they're pretty low everywhere. Relentless is a great backpack, but honestly, the armor roll, oh man. You could use it. You could actually use these accomplished knee pads. You know what, I would pick these up if I didn't have them. You could change the 1152 stamina into firearms or electronics, or even bump up that stamina. You've got over 15,000 health, 15% damage to elites, bleed resist, shock resist. If you want to stack up your field proficiency caches, put a pair of these on and go grind out in the PvE world. They will do you wonders. And other than that, Hunter's Faith. My goodness, Division. You know what? Not too bad of a Reclaimer holster. Too bad that the firearms number is low. If you can make up for the firearms, get rid of reload speed, put health on there, you would have a decent Reclaimer holster. And just compensate for the firearms. Astute, striker gloves. My goodness. You know what? The Sentry Call gloves are decent except for the armor roll. 1239 firearms, enemy armor damage, 4% health on kill, which I would reroll for crit hit damage. And you've got yourself a good pair of Sentry gloves if you really need them. Deadeye gloves are pretty decent also. 1266 electronics, 1160 assault rifle damage, 6% crit chance, 15% crit hit damage. Yep, those are pretty good. You could reroll those any way, shape, or form, any way that you like to. And then we've got Prototypes Firearms Mod with Skill Haste. And people that want to stack that, pick that up. Crit hit chance for the Prototype Performance Mod. Check that out if you don't already have one, for those of you that like to stack your crit. And, oh, there we go. Extended mag, 116% mag size, 4% crit hit damage, 2.5% crit hit chance. I would pick up a few of these and throw them on your weapon. And other than that, okay, that's it for downstairs. Not too bad. Let's keep going.
Your attention, please.
Okay, upstairs at the armory, he's got a pretty decent extended magazine for sale if you don't have a better one. 118% mag size, 2.5% crit chance with 5.10% rate of fire. I would go ahead and grab a few of these and throw them on your weapon if you don't already have a better one.
I'll be here when you change your mind.
At the Dark Zone gear vendor, he's got one item for sale. For those of you that want a high-end holster, you're not a fan of Nimble anymore, there is a recovered holster here. 1214 Firearms, 1249 Stamina, and 1232 Electronics. Reroll off reload speed in the major attribute slot for health, and you've got yourself a pretty decent recovered holster.
Hey, maybe I'll see you again.
And finally, in the booth here at the gear vendor, there is one item for sale. Anybody that is running the defense set, there's 4.5% Ballistic Shield Dmg Resilience Performance Mod here. I would pick this up if you don't already have a 5%.
So it's no deal?
Now, Camp Hudson, again, for those of you that are running defense, there is a prototype performance mod again. This time it is Ballistic Shield Health, 7%. If you don't have a higher percentage, then I would go ahead and pick this one up.
Hey, it's not like I'm no big deal.
Alright, at the Cavern Safe House, again, it is a prototype performance mod. This time it is 7% support station duration. Anybody that is looking to run Reclaimer, especially when that gear set comes into 1.7, prototype performance mods like this will be even more useful with the global events. So if you don't have a better one, pick this one up.
Hey, catch you another time.
Alright, over at the Dante's Run Safe House, there is a prototype electronics mod for sale here. 249 electronics with 2,909 health. If you don't have a blueprint, I would pick a few of these up, or even if you do, if you have bad luck crafting, pick up a few and go ahead and put them in your gear. Okay, down at the Ward Safe House, there are two items for sale here. One, something is an item people have been asking for, a purple prototype stamina mod. There's one here with damage to elites on it. People have been looking for these, so there's one here with stamina on it this time, so pick it up if you want to, or pick up a few. Secondly, a prototype performance mod with 5.5% first aid self-heal. If you do not have the max roll of 6%, then I would go ahead and pick a few of these up, put them on your character, and they will be extremely helpful, and even more helpful when the global events get here in 1.7. At the West 42nd Street DZ checkpoint, that is it for all of the safe houses this week. There are a couple items for sale here. First up, we have a Steadfast holster with over 1200 across the board and skill haste as the major attribute. You can keep that, roll it to a higher percentage, or switch it to health. The choice is yours. And a prototype electronics mod, 265 electronics with over 3,000 health on it. I would absolutely pick a few of these up if you have the funds.
Come on, you're killing me here.
Stop begging. Alright, at the DZ02 safe room, there is a rejuvenated mask here for sale. 1265 stamina with over 9,000 skill power and damage to elites in the minor. You could keep the skill power, re-roll it off for something else, make it higher, or you could change the stamina number, put it into a different slot. Either way, this is a pretty good rejuvenated mask. I would take a look at it if you are in need of one. Alright, at the East 42nd Street DZ checkpoint, he does have a prototype electronics mod for sale here. 241 electronics with over 3,000 skill power on it. If you don't already have a better one or the blueprint, I would go ahead and pick this up, or pick up a few if you need them.
What, you think you don't need this?
Alright, and over at the DZ08 safe room, this has not been the greatest week. That's for sure. Last week was a bit better in my opinion. There's only one item for sale here that's really worth even taking a look at. That is this final measure holster. 1119 Firearms, which is very low, 1210 Stamina, and 1246 Electronics, but 8,232 health, which is pretty close to the max roll. So all you have to do is bump up the Firearms number, and you have yourself a pretty decent final measure holster. At the Park Ave DZ checkpoint, there is an MP5ST for sale here with 22% crit chance. Determined, skilled, and dominant are on it, so this would be for a skill build player. I would get rid of dominant for something else, that given that it's in the free slot, and you would have yourself a decent MP5 if you are running a build like tacticians or anything like that. So take a look at it.
Come on, I'm desperate here. Come back when you're feeling up to it.
At the East 58th Street DZ checkpoint, he has a pair of Savage gloves for sale here. 1159 Firearms, which is on the low side, but 16% crit damage, 7.5% enemy armor damage, and 963 SMG damage. So what you could do is bump up the Firearms number or swap it into a different slot if you wanted to. If not, you can compensate for the Firearms. The number being that low, you can either get rid of enemy armor damage for crit chance or change the SMG damage to your weapon of choice. Either way, you can make use out of these Savage gloves. Alright, and for our final stop this week at the DZ09 Safe Room, there are two items for sale here. First up is a Banshee's Shadow Mask with 1212 Firearms, 9% exotic damage resilience, and 11% damage to elites. You could reroll off the EDR if you wanted to for enemy armor damage, or keep it and bump up the Firearms, change it into a different slot. The choice is yours. And then finally, a Fire Crest holster, 1206 Firearms, 26 Stamina, and 1147 Electronics. The Electronics number is low, but health as a major attribute at 7,931 is good. So you could bump up the Electronics, bump up the Firearms, whichever number you're in shortage of, and either way, you've got yourself a good Fire Crest holster with a nice armor number on it too at 983. So anyways, those are the best items for sale this week in the division. Again, if the video was helpful in any way, shape, or form, please go ahead and drop it a like. It's much appreciated, and it does help the channel grow. Share it with anybody that may need help with getting items this week in the division. Follow me on Twitter at AfflictedGamer, and the stream times for me to be live here on YouTube are at the end of the video. Pick up the items you need, guys. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you soon in the next video.
Attention. Supply drops will expire in